Welcome to another episode of Cryptotalks Wednesdays. We are officially starting Ramadan tomorrow. So, I would love to wish you happy Ramadan, early Ramadan. And as of tomorrow, we will be also moving our time for next week episode a little bit further than the scheduled time. We'll keep you updated with our events and our social media. Uh, what can we say? Great week, uh, full of pumping, full of dumping, full of positive impact. From one side, the market is so bad. From the other side, in a global perspective, in terms of what's happening in the traditional finance and banking and how things are really affected. And I think we are on the verge of a global not chaos, but at this point of time of a global happening. So we need more stability, we need more uh, conformance, and we need more performance. And we'll see how the crypto and the blockchain and the whole ecosystem will be contributing to this conformance and to help the ecosystem. So with that, let me welcome Tay, quickly say hi, and then we'll go with our agenda. How is Tay doing?
Good evening from The Hague, the Netherlands, everyone. Tay is doing great. Week number 12 from this year, 2023. It's been a surprising week, not only from the crypto prices, but what has happened in the past week with the banking industry, whether Silicon Valley, Credit Suisse. We have seen a Lebanon type of activity in the West. So no matter if you are in Lebanon, in United States, in Switzerland, the banking curse has hit everyone. And guess what was the best alternative to hedge against such solutions? Of course, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But we're gonna talk more about this in our episode today of week number 12.
So don't forget don't forget to subscribe to get more news on what's happening in the world. The summary of this week will be shared momentarily. Meanwhile, you can join us, of course, here live and replays on Spotify and podcast and replay on YouTube and other platforms on podcasts. Um, as usual, my favorite part is the crypto fraud. Please be careful from that. Me and Tay will never ask for any investment. We will not be trading on your behalf. We will not be asking or doing any trading. We will not be asking for $500 to make it $1,000. This is something we never did and we will never do. I've received many reports. Unfortunately, we're not able to stop our profile scamming on Instagram, especially, and other platforms. Hopefully, soon they will be solved with the launch of Instagram blue tick, which we have to pay now for. I hope we will be stopped. Otherwise, this whole uh, companies are really just in it for the money, which they are. Anyway, so I was this morning talking about the TikTok privacy and TikTok new updates on Al Qahira News. It was really funny because TikTok now has an office who's trying to work with the European regulators so that they are in a better alliance. And this is funny in terms of a global scale, what's happening in general in our data. And it's very important. I mentioned that our data is super important. So make sure you protect it one way or another. It was a lovely week last week, and we have a lot of events, and we have one that finished yesterday, WBS. We have one that is still currently being played, Paris Blockchain Week. And let me say, Paris Blockchain Week for this year it broke the expectations. All right, it's still going on for another 2 days, so make sure if you have your tickets to join. It's really amazing. It's happening in the Louvre, so it's a chance for you to visit. We have our team on the ground also, who's highlighting the events as we speak during the day, and amazing. With Ramadan, as you know, most of the events will be kind of laying low, and then but as of the start of May, we will be having more updates on the events as we move. There's a lot of events happening in the first week of May, so stay tuned to launch the partnership communication with them. With that, I will pass back to Tay, and we will take it from there.
Thank you, Rudy. One more time, good evening from The Hague, the city of peace and justice. My name is Tay. I'll be hosting week number 12 crypto updates with Dxtalks in collaboration with Flus.com. In this week, what we usually in our usual weekly meetups, what we do is for our newcomers, we give the latest updates in the price. We give the latest weekly happenings in the news, and then we open for Q&A. From last week until this week, in week number 12, we saw Bitcoin going into a new all-time high for year 2023. Q1 is not finished yet, and we are seeing crypto at 28,767 as we speak now. Ethereum is $1,813, BNB $330. The deep pegging that we saw the past 2 weeks between stable coins has come to certain stability. So USDC, USDT, DAI, they're all trading at a stable value of $1. The surprise for this week was XRP. XRP went with the gains that overshadowed Bitcoin. We're looking at XRP at 0.44. It was 0.45 cents during the day. So there is a movement on the crypto side. Dominance of Bitcoin still at 45%, which is considered to be high. We have a market cap of $1.2 trillion in general, which is healthy as well. And always we say the psychological number to watch is always $1 trillion for the total market cap. In approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, the FOMC will be releasing their expectations on interest rate hikes. How is this related to crypto? We're gonna see now in a few minutes. So, Rudy, we can roll in the news. Before we roll in the news as well, I want to give a Glassnode update. According to, we all know Bitcoin is an open network, so we can analyze the transactions, we can analyze the capital movement between wallets. For this week, what was spectacular on the Glassnode perspective, $22.6 million every day in the past week were the revenues of Bitcoin miners. So because of this spike in the Bitcoin price, attached to the new emergence of NFTs on Bitcoin through the new protocol ordinals, the revenues were high for Bitcoin miners, and we didn't see such high volume of revenues in the Bitcoin mining community since June 2022. So this might be a indicator of we're slowly getting out of the bear market, transitioning into the start of a bull run. It's all speculative, but the macro economy will definitely give its say in the next directions. So, Rudy, we can start with the news for this.
Very, very, very important. I think when we're reaching the 30 mark, will be kind of an indication of where things will go. And tonight will be shaping this. Uh,
Absolutely,
that's very important. I just want to add
absolutely.
one piece of news that we got today from Cardano, and we got confirmed that Cardano main summit is happening in Dubai. This is
Yes.
big, huge new news for us. Last year we had the community event, but for this year they have decided that the main event will be happening in Dubai. We don't know, we don't have much of the, what do you call it, the dynamics yet. We will, of course, try to bring more of this, but at this point of time, I just received a notification from them that Dubai is the main stage. So this is huge news for us in terms of Cardano. We'll see how we will be involved in this one way or another because last year we were leading this initiative, and this year it's happening in Dubai in our city. So a lot of great news. With that, let me go to the directly to the news and hand you over so that you can take it.
So, as we said, 7 p.m. CET or Central European Time, which is almost in 1 hour from now, the FOMC will have its meeting and the Federal Reserve will announce perhaps a interest rate hike. To start with, the FOMC or the Federal Open Market Committee is the central bank policy setting committee. So in Bitcoin, policy is set through code, through software, through the Bitcoin white paper from Satoshi Nakamoto. And this gave the inspiration to basically all the cryptocurrency market to set its monetary policy, to set its financial fiscal policy in code, to write it in code. In traditional finance, we still need committees and meetings and central banks to set these policies. One of the important parts of this policy setting is the Federal Open Market Committee, which is the central bank's policy setting committee, and it is overseen by Powell. Now, it's made of 12 rotating members. Those 12 rotating members, they include the Federal Reserve or the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. They include as well board of governance from different central banks, and they include as well the 11 other reserve bank presidents. So we have 12 central bank presidents in the United States, and those 12 they have rotating members that they form the Federal Open Market Committee. Now, one of the most important things that this committee will do is to watch over something called a dot plot, and the dot plot is they summarize all 12 those 12 members. They summarize the Fed funds rate that are going on, and this is released quarterly. So the dot plot that we have today and that is forecasted by the FOMC is around 5.4%. The current rate to raise it is to raise it from 4.5% to 4.75%. So in the coming 1 hour, we can expect word on the streets is we're gonna see a 0.25 basis point hike. So this means the interest rate will be 4.75%. What does this mean for Bitcoin? We always have seen a relation between inflation and Bitcoin. In most turbulent times in financial markets, such as the events that we saw last week, always capital is flowing into Bitcoin and into crypto markets. Sometimes it is used as a excuse to create a some sort of irrational pump in the market. Sometimes it is manipulated, but the general sentiment that we have seen from 2010 until today is the inverse relation between interest rates and Bitcoin. When inflation is going up, we see more and more people preferring to store their value in assets like Bitcoin and gold more than anything else. So, all eyes 1 hour from now on the Federal Reserve Committee. In our second news or second important statement for this week was the analysis of what happened to bring Bitcoin to 28,000. And as we said, this relationship between inflation, the more that inflation is up, banks are failing, Credit Suisse, 160 years of business went down in 6 days. Silicon Valley Bank, established in 1930, went down in a weekend. So all those factors, they are pointing people, they're pointing investors, they're pointing communities that Bitcoin is a safer haven or a safer asset than just keeping your money in a bank. So this is why Bitcoin closed its best week on Sunday. We had gains that almost reached 45% in the past, I think, 15 to 20 days. So, uh, but keep in mind the narrative that we're hearing in the markets today, that because of a bank has failed, Bitcoin will be $1 million. No, that is very narrow-minded to say. Of course, the macro economy will definitely affect the price of Bitcoin in the next 6 months till end of the year. But keep in mind the relation between inflation and the price is always there. And what is a fact today, something similar to what we have witnessed and felt in Lebanon, that the trust in the banking sector, which is very critical to the performance of banks, has been diminished. And we know today in the internet age, the news is spreading very fast compared to 2008, compared to the previous cycles where the news of a financial breakdown was more controlled, was needed more time to spread around the globe. From this week, what we have learned as well, one of the largest Bitcoin ATM providers have been hacked, and the hackers, they drained 1.5 million Bitcoin by exploiting a bug in this Bitcoin ATM. This Bitcoin ATM, the company behind the General Bytes, they had a exploit on their software, and it allowed hackers to drain the interface that holds the hot wallet, that holds the crypto for Bitcoin ATM machines. Approximately 56 Bitcoins were hacked. It took the company around 16 to 17 hours to find out this bug and patch it. It was already too late. And although this company has passed multiple security audits, still the vulnerability was exploited and the Bitcoins were drained. So it's still an ongoing story. The company is trying to see exactly what happened, how to track it, and how to resolve these issues in the future. Another company was as well laid by layoffs. Copper, which is a known firm for custodial services. As we know, in the crypto world, we have two types of basic services: custodial services, which are companies that act like banks and they take control over your crypto, they hold your crypto for you. And other types of services, we call them non-custodial services. They give this responsibility to the user, and the user is responsible for his own funds. In the case of Copper, they have a some sort of B2B platform where crypto exchanges, crypto companies, even financial institutions, they can use the infrastructure of Copper to create custodial services. And now they're going to lay approximately 15% of their staff, and they're just going to focus on custody and settlement and shelf other offerings they have been focusing on. So, uh, like, this is a conversation that has been ongoing a lot among enterprise companies, where they have a huge demand in collateral management and solutions that can stop another event like FTX happening. And as well, you have to put a priority to scale the business and to focus on the things that can generate revenue and make sense for companies. So uh, according to their institutional clients, they will be able to access 30% of the crypto market liquidity by end of this quarter, as much more exchanges are integrating into the network. So today, because of as well the banking infrastructure and the banking loss of trust that we're seeing, more and more companies, exchanges, and crypto companies specifically are looking for alternative ways of on ramping and off ramping, and for custodial solutions. Speaking of custodial solutions, Circle, which is a famous crypto company in the crypto space behind the USDC stablecoin, their chief strategy officer Twitter account was breached by scammers, and they had certain scam related messages tweeted from the Twitter account of their chief strategy officer. It was directly deleted. I think there were about four messages. They were taken care of. Now Circle is in Paris with their team, and they are announcing the opening of their headquarters in France. So Circle has chosen France, Paris, as their European headquarter, and from there they will be able to expand into Europe through two types of licenses: money transfer license and a service provider for cryptocurrencies. By applying for those two licenses, they will be able to offer their stablecoin services into the European Union in a full compliant manner. With this, Rudy, we end our one or 1 week news for week 12, and we're open for questions now.
Thank you, Tay, for the update and the news and the roundup. I think it's very important. Thank you all for joining this episode. We have a couple of questions. Starting by Celsius custody account holder to receive 72% of crypto assets after judge ordered. I think this is some good news coming in regarding FTX and their subsidies
Yeah,
of many
yeah.
other underlying FOMC meeting. Hello, Hiam. Thank you for joining. FOMC meeting is the key today of either 30K or retrace. I think we mentioned this a little bit. We'll see today what's going to happen. Lama says, is tonight news as critical? I think this falls also on the beginning, but is it that critical of a...
I don't think. I mean, the critical part was last week what will happen with Silicon Valley Bank, Credit Suisse closing down, being acquired, like being bought for €1 by
Yeah, one
UBS.
euro. That's crazy.
It's a bank that exists 160 years. It's not a small event in the traditional finance history. So I think this was the critical event. We're over it now. Um, there, but still there is some cloud. There is some uncertainty. There is certain question marks. How are we going to move forward with such events happening more and more on a global scale? One of the things that I heard was the frequency at which central banks can lend money to commercial banks will be changed from a weekly period of time into a daily period of time. So this is something critical. But an event like FOMC, we're all expecting a 0.25% increase in interest rates. Um, Many people have tasted what it is to trust a bank, and the bank is confiscating your money. And this is not a case to deal with Lebanon. This is a case to deal with Silicon Valley, with USA, with Credit Suisse, with Switzerland, the home of banking, neutrality, and finance. And so this is, I think, critical. And of course, the bet that the former CTO of Coinbase has put that Bitcoin in the next 90 days will be $1 million. That's critical because it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is valued at one million. It means that $1 million today can purchase for you one Bitcoin. So what can $1 million today buy you? I think this is the critical stuff.
Yeah, I think it's very important. And we have, what did they actually, I'll highlight the one before. How did they hack the ATM? Do you have any?
Exactly. That is a nice question. So how did this happen? General Bytes, they connect their Bitcoin ATMs to a crypto application server called CAS, CAS. It it is managed by General Bytes until now. So General Bytes, they could manage the crypto application server on behalf of their clients. What happened is that the attacker was able to identify a vulnerability in this CAS, and he was able to scan the IP addresses that is managed by the cloud, and he was able to identify the ones that are running CAS services on 7,741 ports. And then he was able to identify the General Bytes cloud service and the other Bitcoin ATM that is running on those. So by exploiting this vulnerability, he was able to upload a Java application directly into the server and use it as an admin interface, and then diverting those 56 Bitcoins on the different ATMs into a deployment folder. And this is how the hack happened. And
So
again,
it's more of
although
a man
that,
in the middle, man in the middle attack, not actually
yeah,
touching.
exactly. They didn't hack Bitcoin in that sense. They hacked the software that was running the Bitcoin ATMs in very simple terms.
Very, very interesting. Uh, we have long time Marie Clémence, great one today, live from Paris week. Uh, Amazing. Yeah, I know. I've heard a lot of news. I've seen a lot of photos. We are one of the media sponsors of Paris Blockchain Week. Uh, I think it's one of those great events that we will quality events, because we're seeing a lot of events, but we need quality events more specifically. Very important. I think that's it from our side. I hope you like a little bit updates in the format. You can join us from live from YouTube, Instagram. Sorry, Instagram is the only platform not able to to broadcast. LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter and other platforms. And
Yes.
again, don't forget uh, to subscribe. This is very important. The more you subscribe, the more you share, the more the news, and it will be helping us spreading the information. So I think that's it from unless you have a last summary so that we can finalize and then jump.
I don't have a summary for our viewers today, but I do have an announcement from Flus. If you click on the buy button on flus.com, you will see our widget live. We were able to go live with our widget. So basically, what does this mean? Developers in the space, retail users in the space, they can uh, developers can integrate this widget into their crypto apps, allowing their users to buy Bitcoin not only through one provider, but through minimum of 5 providers. We started with one Transact today, and we're going live as we go on with the days with more providers. So this gives a variety for our retail users to choose the best rates, the best prices based on their location. This will be live in Lebanon as well very soon, but it's a big milestone for the team at Flus to release this widget and allow people today to start hedging against their fiat currencies with a very simple button to purchase Bitcoin and store Bitcoin always in your own wallet. Other than that, we are finishing Q1 this year in 2023. Q2, Q3, Q4 will be very hot for cryptocurrencies. On a macroeconomic level, we're seeing, as we discussed in the whole session today, about the traditional banking infrastructure, what's happening there. But most importantly, we are going to see a Litecoin halving event in the summer, which we talked about I think 3 or 4 episodes ago, followed by a Bitcoin halving event in 2024. And that's mainly what will warm up the rally, because as we know in the laws of economics, when we have a diminished supply with an increased demand, the prices automatically will go up. So those are very important events to end Q1 2023. Ramadan Kareem for everyone who is celebrating. We will be with you as well in Ramadan to follow on all the crypto events, and Ramadan Kareem for everyone.
Yeah, indeed. Congrats on the listing again. You can follow Flus on Telegram or on Twitter at FlusWS. Congrats on the listing. I looked up the news with Alliance Block. So this is also another achievement.
Hopefully, Rudy will get Alliance Block, their CEO, Rashid, on one of our crypto talks. I think Alliance Block and Funders is a very needed platform for Middle East and North Africa. Rashid is a great guy, great CEO from Alliance Block. They had an incident as well this year that we can talk about it with him. And it's important to see not only the flourishing and good side of crypto, but as well when bad things happen, like a hack, like a scam, like how do you react as a crypto company owner or a
As a
leader of
normal
a crypto
company, as a
platform?
normal company, it doesn't have to be crypto.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
What is
Exactly.
your
How do you deal with
response?
it?
Will you
Yeah.
take care of it? Will you exactly?
Exactly.
This is when the
So
tough gets
we would love
tougher,
to have
and you
Rashid.
improve.
Yes. Yes. We will have
Exactly.
them very soon and learn about TIDV, one of the first on-chain KYC platforms. So lots of interesting experiences, learning from Alliance Block and going through that listing
Exactly.
with them.
It's already on the screen, on a full screen, and here we go.
Thank you.
Congrats again. I would like to remind everybody of this beautiful joke that was pulled over Silicon Valley Bank, where they put off this truck, be your own bank. So with that, I'd like to end and then see you next week. And cheers also to the all of the arts dowers that are watching and our followers. With that, thank you and see you next week. Happy Ramadan and hope you have a great one.